Hello everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome back to my Final Fantasy XIV Let's Play series. Finally, level 50. I can talk about it and actually show what you're going to be doing. So where we left off in the last video is we had just finished the Praetorium, so we've now officially finished the patch 2.0 main story. And at this point, it becomes very, very overwhelming for new players. What they do next. What can they do? What should they do? It's a mess of different things that are possible. The first thing that we are going to do is make sure that we actually hand in this quest. So for finishing 2.0's main story, you get a mount, the Magitech armor that we were riding throughout the Praetorium. It's actually a pretty cool mount. It has the ability to fire vanity projectiles, like it can shoot its cannon, but it doesn't actually do damage. And it even has Terra's theme from Final Fantasy VI. That's a brand new feature as of patch 2.55 too, so it's pretty cool. So with that out of the way, I don't know why the screen goes black there. I guess it's just to load up the next part. So next thing that we have to do is we're going to talk to Minfilia, and we have two different quests we have available here. Recurring problem. This is regarding the primals. So we accept that quest, and now we'll have to speak with UL'DAH, and that's one quest that you should absolutely accept, and I'll be going over to him in a second. The other quest you're going to want to accept is the Price of Principles. This is the beginning of the 2.1 main storyline, and honestly, I highly recommend that you get this started and you make this a top priority. You want to have the main story finished before patch 3.0 hits, before the expansion hits. Otherwise, you're going to be very, very sad. Trust me. So, with that out of the way, the first things you do, you grab those quests. Now we're going to run over into this room. This is a side quest I did. Don't pay any mind to this. Just going to hand it in so it's not there. Now, we speak to UL'DAH. This is the other quest that we accepted from her. Recurring problem. Now, he gives us a mission. Well, first we have to talk to all of them. This is part of the other mission that I'm doing. So let me finish that up first. There we go. Finish up this little mission. And we should be good to go. So, after you talk to UL'DAH, you'll want to accept this next quest. Ifrit bleeds, we can kill it. This will help you unlock Ifrit hard mode, which is the first of 3 hard mode primals that you're going to do. Now, you're not going to do Ifrit hard mode anytime soon. We're going to be focusing on some other stuff to get you there a little bit more prepared. But it is a good idea to grab that quest while you're here, just so you don't have to run all the way back to accept it later. Now, we're not going to follow the 2.1 main story too in-depth right away. Yes, I said it is a top priority, and it is something that you should definitely take your time and do. However, getting your item level up will make this a much, much easier process first, and there are many easy ways to do it. So I've already spoken about doing our roulettes. I'm gonna do the roulettes off camera. So you see I have the 120 and I have the low level. But now we want to start working on getting our duty roulette trials open. And to do that, we're going to have to do a lot of stuff. So, with that out of the way, let's go. We want to take care of all these quests that are here in the Waking Sands. You might as well. You're already here. So, it's a good idea. All right, now the next place is it's St. Adama Landama. So we don't want to go back there right now. We want to go back to whatever town it is that you want to get started in. I highly recommend, before we do that actually, there's a quest you want to accept out here in Vesper Bay, so you don't have to run back here. And this is the quest that will get you started on your Relic quest line. Now, I'm going to be talking a lot about the Relic quest line for the next few videos because it is a really, really important quest line that you do to get yourself a nice weapon at an early level. Now, Ghost of Amdapor is also a quest you're going to want to accept. This will let you unlock the Amdapor Keep dungeon, which is one of the level 50 starter dungeons that you can do. And also the Weaponsmith of Legend. This is the quest. You can only do this after you finish 2.0 story, and you have done all of your job quests for the job you're currently on up to level 50. So make sure you do all of your job quests, because otherwise you won't be able to accept this quest. You won't be able to do the relic weapon for that job if you do not have it done. The other quest you're going to want to grab is this, Trauma Queen. This will help you unlock Wanderer's Palace, which is a dungeon that's on the same caliber as Amdapor Keep. Let me just check this quest over here. I'm pretty sure it's not an important one, but I might as well just double check. Yeah, this quest has been here since I came here like really, really early on in the series. Seas of Change. Yeah, we don't need to do that. So now with that out of the way, we can go and do our weaponsmith quest, but there's something else I want to do first. Now, let me see. Where is my return place? Steps of Knowledge? Sure, we'll go back there. So if you've been following my guide, my series this entire time, you should be very, very well prepared for level 50. Now, of course, I'm taking you along the path where you don't stop and go level other jobs, or at least not that much, unless you still need your cross-class abilities, in which case, you know I've been encouraging that the whole time to level that up. Then you don't need to worry about that. But if you want to get right into the combat, you want to start increasing your item level, you want to start getting better gear for your current job, the job that you leveled to 50 in the first place, that is what we're really accomplishing here. So teleport to wherever your grand company is. And in this case, it just so happens that the Ifrit quest, I just did the next part of the Ifrit quest because my grand company is the Immortal Flames. So, yeah. You're going to want to check the Quartermaster first. Now, the reason why I say that is because there are sets of gear here that you can make use of. So, first, let's go over here. So, you want to see if any of this is gear that will actually be useful to you. Now, not all of these are made for whatever job you play. Like, for example, this is strength, vitality, accuracy, and determination. It has parry on it, so I'd like to assume it's tank gear, but I can't promise that. And then same here. You can use it for vanity, but you don't really need it. There's a body piece. I don't think you really need to pick this up. You do have, don't forget, you have this level 55 body piece, so you don't really need to pick that one up. It's more recommended that you either pick up a starting weapon, an item level 55 one, which I don't have enough seals for. And besides, I have other plans for my Gil that will make it. Or you pick up a piece of armor. Like, I could pick up the cap. It'd be 5 item levels higher. It's a nice little boost, but it's nothing mandatory. Also, we can undertake supply and provisioning missions if we have anything we're not planning on using again. I don't think I have anything here that I'm definitely not planning on using again. I think, yeah, this is like one of the only things I could do, because I would like to get another 1,400 points to get a weapon, but only because I want to show you how to do it with Gil and without Gil. So if you don't want to spend Gil, like you weren't like me, you didn't end up saving up like 350k on the 1 to 50 process, then you'll probably want to get a lot of Grand Company seals and get some starter gear from the Quartermaster. While you're at your own Grand Company, you might as well pick up these quests, like Civilized Men and Women, which is a PvP quest. And he has a lot to say. And Let the Hunt Begin. This is a feature that I have spoken about a lot throughout this entire adventure of ours in this Let's Play series. It's real quick. You just talk to that guy and then you talk to the hunt over here. In order to accept this quest, you need to be max Grand Company rank, so make sure that you do that like we were talking about. And then once you've unlocked the hunt, now I already showed you can participate in those open world hunts without doing this quest. But now that I've done that quest, I have the ability to do daily and weekly marks. So I'm going to accept my weekly elite mark, and it's to kill Fekta. I get 5,000 gil and 100 allied seals. So I'm going to accept that, and we're going to do that at some point. Now, the only reason why you really do this stuff, and honestly, unless you do the open world ones, this doesn't really add up very quickly. It will take you a long time to get gear through this process, far longer than it'll take you through other means. You're mostly probably going to use this to get item level 100 gear. If you can save up like 3,000 seals or 6 of a certain item or 2 of a certain other item, then you can use it to upgrade item level 120 gear to 130, or you can also, for less of a price, get some item level 100 gear up to item level 110. But honestly, I'd recommend you start doing your weeklies, you start doing your dailies. There's good gil from it all. You make what? 3,000, 5,000, 7,000 gil right through that. And then you get another 5,000 from the weekly on top of all the allied seals. It can add up real quick and just help speed up the gear process. In fact, I am going to accept my daily ones. So now that that's out of the way, there's a few things we want to do. First of all, like I said, I have saved up 350k. I'm not planning on putting a lot of investment into my gatherers and crafters right away. I want to get ready to do fights, to get ready for raids, to have enough item level to finish the story. Those are my focuses right now. And if you're wondering why there's eggs everywhere, it's because there's the Hatching Tide event. It's an Easter event going on right now. So let's see. Without even doing my 2 dailies yet, my daily roulettes, I have 362 tombstones. That's pretty good, if I may say so myself. Because that's pretty much already enough to get our relic done. By the time we're done with the relic quest, we'll almost have enough to get an item level 90 weapon right off the bat. But part of the relic quest actually requires that you have a double materia melded weapon. Now, I am going to just quickly take a look at the list. I was going to search it, but I think if I just take a look at the list, I'll be able to figure out what weapon it is for myself. Conjurer's Arms. Search. Madman's Whispering Rod. I'm pretty sure it's that one. Yeah, it's definitely Madman's Whispering Rod. I don't remember what materia I need, although I'm sure there are ones here with the double materia melds. And honestly, all this HQ, don't. You want an NQ version of it. Even if it's more expensive like this, you're going to want to make sure you have like 100 to 150k ready for this. Also, you can gather the materials. You can ask friends to craft it. This isn't the only way you can go about it. But the quest is eventually going to ask you for a double melded weapon with 2 specific materias in it in one of these things. That means you can't buy it and then get used to using it. Because when you need it for the relic quest, you're going to need a replacement weapon for it. So I'm not going to buy this right now, but I am going to keep in mind that I need about 97k, about 100k actually, for that. What I do want to take a look at real quick are all these other weapons. Is there anything I can really afford with the 350k? Probably not. The closest thing I'd probably be able to afford is an item level 70 weapon. And to be honest, as nice as the little boost is, it's not going to matter. You're probably going to get many high-level players and a lot of your first kind of starter groups that will make the necessity of buying these things not so great. So don't spend your gil on this. Just make sure you have enough gil for things like the Madman Whispering Rod. Another thing you may want to consider using your gil on, if you haven't already, is food. There's a lot of different foods that you can use, and a lot of different fights have a minimum accuracy that you need for every single different fight. We're not going to get into that too much here. We're going to talk about that more when we start talking about coil. But start familiarizing yourself with the different kinds of foods on the board. At least buy something that will, even if it doesn't increase your accuracy, things like buttons in a blanket, as expensive as they are. If you want to buy something like that, maybe the thing that's a little bit below it, just to have some starter food for level 50, I highly recommend doing that as well. Now, we could also buy some upgraded gear. You know, I've already made mention of some different things that you can do. You don't really need any of this stuff. Pretty much same deal. You're spending a lot of money on stuff that's not going to matter soon anyway. So I want you to just take a look at the market board, figure out what you need for your relic. Just find out what it is. If you have to Google it, wait till the quest line takes you there. Do whatever it is you want to do. But we're not going to spend gil on any of that gear right away. So first thing that we're going to really do is now the Weaponsmith of Legend quest. This is the #1 thing I recommend you do right at the get-go, because getting your relic weapon is a huge boost in your efficiency. Your weapon is your most important piece of armor most of the time. It increases, you know, it's a large increase to damage and healing. It's a large increase to health when you jump in item level, and it's just got good stats. Not always good stats, but you know what I mean. You just want a better weapon. It affects your spells more than everything else. Also, make sure you went and finished your hunting logs and collected your master's ring. I've been talking about that for a while too, and we even went out of our way and collected it, so make sure you do that. So now we're here in Revenant's Toll. We teleported to Revenant's Toll to grab the Weaponsmith quest, right? So we'll talk to her. She'll send us to the next place. She sends us to North Shroud with Geralt. Now you want to kind of look around at the quests that are available here. That one was just a notifier to let me know that NPC was there. There should be a lot of dungeon quests available here, especially if you were responsible and did all of the other side quests. There should be a bunch of quests available or not available in Mordona. So I want you to just quickly look around, see what they do. A self-improving man. This teaches you how to glamour your gear. So I'm going to accept that. The glamoring system is something we'll talk about eventually anyway. Might as well do it. So we accept that quest. We can do it real quick right there too. Just tooling around another quest. Just take a look at it. Requires Disciples of Land or Hand to be at level 50. That's not what we're doing. We don't need to accept that quest, but we know it's there. We go down here a little bit. See, Slaffborn has a quest that we can't accept. What is it? Magic technical difficulty. Slaffborn seems an urgent message. Conditions unknown. Interesting. So we'll have to come back to this one a little bit later when it actually becomes available. This quest is a big one. Outlandish Man. This allows you to unlock the Crystal Tower storyline. You absolutely want to get this quest and follow through with it ASAP, because that is a great way to get some gear while leveling up, is to do it. It's worth a lot of tomestones. It's got Eventually, you can get all the way up to item level 120 gear. It's got its own storyline. It's got decent rewards throughout the storyline itself, and it's just something you want to have done. Now, it's when you come in here, this bar-like area, 90% of the important quests that you'll want right at 50 are in this area. So, pretty much all dungeon quests. You won't even be able to do most of these dungeons right away, but just having them done and out of the way helps. And also, each of them is worth like 2k gil. You can't ever complain about that. This one's for Stone Vigil hard mode. Let's see what this one's got. Lorraine has Maniac Manor. I forget which one this is for. I think this might be for Amdapor Keep hard mode. What's that? For Keepsake. That's for Amdapor Keep hard mode. I need to complete Amdapor Keep in order to unlock it, though. Remember that. You do have to beat the normal mode to unlock the hard modes. So, Kurds and Slay. What is this? Dangerous task. Alright, we'll accept that quest. Pretty much just going to accept all these quests. King of the Hull unlocks Hullbreaker Isle. I'm just naming dungeons off the top of my head. This unlocks Sastasha hard mode. You have Out of Sight, Out of Mind. This unlocks, I think, Copperbell Mines hard mode. The Times for Fun. This is for Halatali hard mode. All of these dungeons. There's so many dungeons here. This is for Sunken Temple of Karn hard mode. And what do you have? The Ultimate Ballad. This is for Ultima hard mode. Yeah, I'm not going to accept that one right away because that one I'm not going to do. And Simply to Die For, that's a dying quest. You don't have to do that. It's a level 1 quest. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. So we now have a ridiculous number of quests. And this is why players tend to get a little bit overwhelmed by first hitting level 50. Because there is all this stuff to do. Now, while I want you to accept those quests and I want you to go about, unlocking those dungeons whenever you can, you probably won't be able to do those dungeons with your current item level. That's just the unfortunate truth. So let me just quickly hand in this quest right here to cast Glamours. Might as well. I'm already here. And then we can move on. Continue on with the Weaponsmith quest. Come on, Rowena. Yeah, yep. Got it. Hand in that quest and we should be good. The Glamour system, by the way, allows you to take pieces of armor that you don't have equipped and make them visible to everyone else without actually changing your equipment. So it's a vanity system. It's like, you'll see what I mean in a second right here. So we got it. It's going to give me a few glamour prisms to start. Let's see. Let's go with Clothcraft because I am a healer. I probably have something cloth related that I can glamour real quick. He also has another quest, but Submission Impossible requires Disciple of Hand at level 50. So we just learned the cast glamour action. It's down here at the bottom. So let's see. My base. This is the piece that I want to change the appearance of. I want to change the appearance of my healer robe. Let's say I want to make it my Acolyte's robe. So I click it. It says it requires grade 1 glamour prism Clothcraft. I actually do not have that. But if I cast it, it'll allow me to do it. I could have swore he gave me grade 3. Let me see if I have anything that can change it to a grade 3. Okay, so these look lame as hell, but it'll work. Maybe I have something else. Let me see the circlet, the headpiece. Nope, level 2, grade 3. I think if it's at least level 40, it requires grade 3. Otherwise, it requires grade 1. Unfortunately, it's not like backwards compatible where a grade 3 works on a grade 1. So yeah, we'll do one of the crappy robes just so you can see. So you see that I have my body piece on, right? Let's just say I want to wear this. So cast it. So see my body piece? See how it changed? Now, I'm not actually wearing that piece. I'm wearing my healer's robe, but it shows as something else. So for those of you who like to kind of change around what you wear, this is a really great option to give you more customization. It does have its own limitations, like I can't throw on tank gear. It has to be something that is equipable by my current job. But you can still mess around with it. There's a lot of available options within the system itself. So play around with it when you have the chance and you should be fine. So with that out of the way, let's go over to the North Shroud. This is where Geralt is for the next part of the Weaponsmith questline. And once we get that underway, things really start accelerating. You start unlocking dungeons. You start traveling around the world doing this quest. You start spending your gil a little bit more. There's just, you got to do it. It's got to be the first quest you do. Now, this quest line goes way, way, way past this first relic quest. It becomes an extremely grindy and long and tedious quest line to unlock a fully functional item level 135 weapon with stats of your choosing at that. But it's very expensive. It's very time consuming. I'm not going to immediately recommend that you do that quest line, but I do think it's important that you get your relic unlocked and you upgrade it to item level 90. So also, this happens to be the zone where Fekta, that big bear that I needed to kill, spawns. So somebody says that he's at 2722. So where is that? I think that's actually right there. It's right in the middle of my path. So we're going to go up here and we are going to take on Fekta. We're going to get that out of the way. Now that's not guaranteed. That just happens to be lucky. But there he is. Looks like there's other people waiting to do the quest as well, or waiting to kill him as well. Oh, and there's also a fate for the Hatching Tide event. And it looks very, very dangerous, so I'm just not going to be a part of it. Is there anybody else here waiting? Yeah. We got one other guy here waiting. I'm ready to go whenever. Now, normally, these hunt enemies, these B rank hunt enemies, you normally want to kind of shout like, hey, is anybody available to do this? Does anybody need this in the zone? These things respawn after 5 seconds. This is a B rank hunt. A and S rank have like 4-hour and like 48-hour respawns, but this guy respawns every 5 seconds. It's just he'll respawn someplace else on the map. So we're just waiting for a few other people to come by. And yeah, so look at this. I've tried to literally do one quest line at level 50. How many other things have already distracted me? This is exactly why I made this series, because it's so easy to get sidetracked in this game when you're a fresh 50. There's what seems like a ton of stuff to do right away. But eventually, it's not that you'll find that there's not that much to do, but you'll realize, what's important to you as opposed to what's mandatory, So I'm just waiting a few more seconds. I'm assuming... Is this guy here for this, or is he here for... Yep, here he is. This guy said he was on his way, so we were waiting on him. And now we can just pull it whenever. I think, at least. It seemed like he was here for... He shouted LFG, but I don't know if he was here for the egg or if he was here for this. That looks like a pretty crazy... Looks like a pretty fun fate, if you ask me. I gotta do the Hatching Tide event on this character still. And then he just teleported away. Okay. Alright. Well then. I'm gonna start on the big bear then. So these things hit pretty hard if you're a fresh 50, but they're meant to be soloed. Just dodge the attacks like you would, any normal enemy, and you should be fine. But you can see how much health it has, right? Like, it's not like it's a complete joke, but that guy is gonna rip aggro off me so fast it won't even matter. The guy who's over there is like, he looks like he's at least full item level 110 or something like that. Yeah, he doesn't even need to be like moving around. So yeah, we should be good. So we're just going to kill this thing real quick. And this is a weekly hunt mob that I'm killing, which means that I can only do one of these B... You can kill as many B ranks as you want, but you'll only get the rewards for the B rank that's part of your weekly hunt. So I can only do... I can't do this hunt again until next Tuesday, and it's most likely going to be a different enemy. But the point is, you should do it, because it's free gil, it's free allied seals, which you can use to get some upgraded gear, especially if you're doing the daily ones as well. I might even live stream me doing some of the daily ones, because I don't really need to show you guys in a video what it's like to do the daily ones. You see that symbol above the head? Yeah, that's a little Mandragora symbol. It means it's a hunt enemy that's part of your daily or weekly hunting logs. You don't need me to go around the world doing that to show you how to teleport around and kill enemies. You don't need that. So I may even live stream me playing this character a little bit, doing things that are less, I guess, that aren't really fit for the YouTube series itself. Of course, things like Ifrit hard mode, Garuda hard mode, Titan hard mode, I will be doing those. But like if I was doing them like 10 times in a row, I'd only show you it once. And I would just reinforce the fact that, hey, I did this over and over again to get a weapon, or for first time bonuses, or to do multiple relic weapons or things like that. This is actually taking a really long time. I'm used to doing this on my I guess my ninja. Also, I'm not paying attention to my MP at all because I'm talking to you guys. I've done that a lot this series, since like the inception of the series, where I have this sick incentive to look at the camera while I'm talking. Like, I'm doing it right now and I can't stop myself. And it makes it so that, like, when I'm trying to say, hey, you should do this, you should do this, you shouldn't do this, I end up doing those things like 90% of the time. Because I'm not like, oh, you should be sure to be using Shroud of Saints whenever you do this. I'm so glad this guy was here to help, because otherwise, otherwise it would have taken forever. Thank you. You're now on YouTube. Thank you. You're now on YouTube. We got 100 allied seals and 5,000 gil. Gil is given to, a lot of people don't take for granted. There's so many places in this game where gil is just handed to you. You just have to reach out and grab it. 360k, I could have had 500, 600k if I had really tried on this character. If I had played it non-stop and had done all the things I had preached in all my videos, as opposed to recording them just so you guys could understand the point, I could have had so much gil. I could have just bought one of those item level 70 weapons to get me started. But instead, I'm going to do this. So now we've unlocked the A Relic Reborn questline. You just have to talk to Geralt, and as you can see, finishing the questline will give me the Thyrus, one of the fabled relic weapons, 27 mind, 27 vitality, 23 determination, and 23 spell speed. Real simple. But this questline's a pretty long one, so we're probably going to break the next several videos down into parts. I think that person might recognize me because they're waving. Geralt, listen to me. Alright. So now he wants us to go do the relic questline. I'm waving. Hi. Hello. Hello. How are you? I'm recording for YouTube. I'm gonna walk away now. And that's the first step of everything you want to do. If you want to grab all those dungeon quests, right? You want to get your Crystal Tower questline. You want to see if you can upgrade any of your gear via the Grand Company. Make sure you have enough gil in order to buy the weapon we're eventually going to need for the relic. About 100 to 150k is about what you want to have ready, unless you have friends who can craft it for you for much, much cheaper. What else? Yeah, I mean, those are really the most important things. Do your roulettes. That's a big thing. I'm definitely going to be doing my roulettes when I live stream later today, because I want to do the low level. I want to do the main scenario, because look at that. I'm just going to have so many tomestones by the time I'm done with this relic questline. I'll probably be able to get my relic and almost be ready to upgrade a bunch of other pieces of gear. And honestly, that's what you want to be able to do. I could even... Do I have an earring that I can upgrade this for? Honestly, I should upgrade this earring right here, this item level 39 one, because you do also have to keep in mind you do need a minimum item level in order to get into those primal fights and some of those dungeons. So replacing some of this stuff is sometimes a good idea, but that's why I recommended the Grand Company stuff, because along with at least a semi-decent weapon, you know, a weapon from the Grand Company, maybe 1 or 2 pieces of armor via your tomestones before you actually get to finishing your relic, all that stuff will get you through. You don't need to worry that much. Just take it one step at a time, and everything should be okay. But on that note, I'm going to end this video right here. In the next video, we're going to start working on the relic quest line, as well as a few other things. So thank you for watching. I'll see everyone in the next video, and until then, take care.